everybody, this is Esme and today's video is going to be a Mickey update and pamper session. So before today's video starts, I'd just like to say a huge thank you to every single one of you who have just been so lovely, especially when Mickey has been pretty ill. All the love and the support, we do really appreciate it. So the first thing for the Mickey update is that he is doing so better now. As you can see, he's trying to lick me, he wants attention, he's definitely back to his happy and licky self, and he's just feeling so much better. He's no longer lame. The laminitis that he had, or the abscess that he had, is now gone, and he's just living his best life out in the field and licking me as well. So I thought, Mickey can definitely tell he's back to himself. So I thought I'd tell you a little bit more about Cushing's disease. So it's pretty common in older horses around the age of 15 and onwards, and Mickey is now 20, he's going to be 21 next year. So yeah, it's pretty common. So basically what it is that the pituitary gland is causing an imbalance in the hormones. So that's in his brain, in the base of his brain, yes. So this can cause him to be a little bit more sweaty, sometimes a bit lethargic and tired, or sometimes make them a little bit depressed and sad. So when we found out that he had it, Mickey had a blood test, and this checked his levels of the hormone, and basically it was really high. It was 130, I think, it was in the hundreds, and then now it's gone really low, yes. So since Mickey was diagnosed, every single morning he's had one tablet of Perglide, which are these little pink tablets, and then a few weeks ago he had a checkup from the vet who came over and did another blood test to check his levels, and a normal horse's levels are usually below 30, and Mickey's went pretty low. His went down to I think 19 or 15, I can't remember, but in the normal range. So now he's only on half a tablet a day, which is just absolutely brilliant, and I don't think really any of the side effects have affected him, so he doesn't really seem that depressed. As you can see now, he is just loving the attention and the licks, and yep, Mickey. So yeah, he is doing so much better, so thank you again for all of the get well soon messages and all the love and support. We both really do appreciate it. I thought we would do a little Mickey pamper session because this guy deserves it. So he's been out in the field and his legs are absolutely covered in mud. It's like he's had a little mud spa kind of thing. He's also pretty dirty on his face, and on his neck is just kind of like dried mud there, so that shouldn't be too difficult to brush off. I'm also going to wash his tail because that's absolutely filthy as well. So I think Mickey's definitely going to enjoy having a little bit of a pamper session. Hey Mick! I actually cleaned his head collar and lead rope the other day, and they're looking pretty good, especially as his head collar was so filthy compared to how it looked like before. It looks brand new, but you know, it's still got a bit of wear and tear because Mickey does not keep anything nice, no. And his lead rope's a little bit chewed, but apart from that, it's looking pretty good now it's been washed. Yeah? Is it grooming time? Should we let you out? Good boy. So you may have noticed that I've tied Mickey up somewhere a little bit different. We've actually tied him up outside his stable, and that's because we are right next to the hose pipe, so later on I can wash his legs off because they are absolutely filthy. But to start with, I'm going to sort out his mane and his neck. I'm going to kind of work from top to bottom because it's all really manky down there. So he kind of has dried mud all over his neck. His mane is like mud dreadlocks, so I think first I'm going to sort out the dry mud and then we're going to go on to the wet mud. So the mane doesn't look that bad, but when you lift it up underneath, there's all little bits of mud stuck in it. There's even some wet mud as well, which is not great. So I think I'm just going to flip over his mane and just do the under bit first and get that out of the way, and then I'll probably get my main brush and try and tackle that later. Oh, that's so bad. At least it's dry here. Not looking forward to the legs. Might do his little... Oh, that's all wet. It's even worse because of his Cushings. It's caused him to be all really hairy and curly here. Like, look how long some of these hairs are. All the way out here. It's like it's longer than my finger. Yeah, I think I'm just, when it comes to his legs, just going to use water because that is too difficult to tackle with a brush. Maybe his belly is definitely for the water as well. So something I've also noticed since Mickey's been on his medication is he is so much more active now. Like before we just thought he was getting a little bit old. Like for example, if we called for dinner time, Casper would gallop up and Mickey would just slowly kind of plod, maybe a few steps of trot behind. But now when I call for dinner, they both bolt all the way up here. Mickey is bucking around, they get excited, they horse around, and it's just so lovely to see him back again, sort of running around in the field, and it's just so lovely. Yeah, Mick? So now it's time to tackle this mane. I'm going to try and do like it in layers because it is pretty thick. Like I haven't done really anything with Mickey's mane for so long. I haven't cut it or I haven't pulled it or thinned it out in years, probably like 5 years or maybe even longer than that, I don't know, but yeah, I haven't done really anything with it for a long time. I literally just brush it through. So first mystery item in the mane today, a little twig. Oops, get that off. What else are we going to find in here? Looks like he's kind of got like a middle parting now. Oh my gosh, there's one little curly bit of mane. How cute is that? It's just got like a little single curl. Oh, Mick, you're going curly. It's a little bit thinner, his mane up here, because he likes to put his head through the fence to try and get the greener grass on the other side, don't you, mate? So that just kind of rubs it a little bit, but because his mane's pretty thick, it's not very noticeable unless you're kind of like brushing it through. Mickey, don't eat your lead rope. Mickey, you've destroyed enough of your things. Yes. Oh, it's looking so much better now. Like it didn't look too bad before, but when you brush through, like there's just so much mud and clumps in here. Yes. Are you sneezing from all the dust that's coming off you, mate? Because you're so muddy. Forelock time. Now his forelock is actually a lot thinner than his mane, so it's really easy to brush. Like this doesn't get too bad. Done. Nice and silky and soft. I really need to give your face a brush though. Look at all that grubby grubness on you, mate. Yeah, the grubby grubness. Because Mickey has quite sensitive skin, he gets sometimes a little bit dandruffy because his skin's quite dry. So it doesn't look like he's actually too dirty here, but he's actually so dusty. So what I'm going to do is use my jelly scrubber, do it in little circular motions, and hopefully get up a lot of dust in the process. A lot of hair's coming off as well. Probably not going to brush his belly just because it's so wet and I don't want this bit to get wet because the brush is wet, so I think I'm just going to stick to the top. I feel like on his butt here there's going to be a lot of dust coming up. Do your little underbelly. Here doesn't seem as wet, so I think I can probably get away with trying and getting rid of some of the dry mud with the jelly scrubber. I just don't like to use the jelly scrubber on the wet mud because then the jelly scrubber will get all wet and it's just gonna spread around all of the yucky wet mud, which will not be great. I think that's probably as far down as I can get away with. Now it's time to do Mickey's beautiful face. So I have a little face brush here. It's nice and small and soft, so hopefully it will get some of the dust and things off here, because Mickey, when he rolls, he always loves to rub his face in the mud. I don't know why his face in particular, he comes out looking like a panda sometimes because both of his eyes are just covered in mud. But today it's not actually too bad. You can see he likes to rub his nose in the mud a bit as well. Like he's got all mud and dust in his nostrils, which isn't great. So I might need to give him a little bit of a nostril clean out later, which isn't his favourite. But he's also got a bit of gunk in his eyes. I'm going to try and clean out as well. There we go, mate. Is that more comfortable? Yeah. Oh, it's really dusty by his ears. Why'd you get your ears dirty, mate? He gets it loads under his chin as well. I just don't know how he does it. He's got a bit of a beard at the moment too, which is quite cute. Next I'm going to be using a dandy brush on him to try and flick up all of the dust that I've sort of gotten up using the jelly scrubber. So I'm going to do a little bit on his mane as well, just because his mane is pretty dirty and dusty too. Even though I brushed it through with a normal brush, it's kind of difficult to get, you know, the dust out, especially on his neck here too. Still a little bit kind of dust coloured, but I think that's just how he is in the winter. Oh wow, this is getting a lot of dead skin and dust up using this on here. Yeah. Did you open up my grooming box, mister? No. Now it's time to give Mickey a shower. So to do this and to make sure that he's got nice warm water, because it is winter, we don't want him to get cold, is we actually have a DIY horse shower. So this isn't really kind of like for horses, but we kind of made it so it can be, because our stables isn't connected to the mains or anything. So we've kind of made this. So I have this sort of sack truck to transport it around. Just have some gas here, and this is like a camping shower or an outside shower. We've basically connected it all together, so it means that we can have hot water and transport it where we like. Don't know what he'll think to it because I haven't used it on him for a while. Hello. Would you like to give it a sniff? No, you can't eat it. It's not food. Let's see what he thinks. So this is the sort of nozzle that I'm going to be using. Hello. So this is what I'm going to be using for giving Mickey a wash. I've currently got it on the shower kind of jet, and it's now got warm water coming out. So I'm going to just be quite gentle because Casper is so much better at being washed than Mickey. Mickey can sometimes fidget a little bit, so we'll see what he thinks. I think if he feels it's nice and warm, he'll like it. His tail is absolutely gross. That's disgusting. Oh, this bit is disgusting. So Mickey has now got used to the horse shower. He's doing very well with it. He's standing really nice and still. I think he's secretly loving the nice warm water on his legs. And I'm just trying to give them a little bit of a rinse at the moment, and then I think I'll have to put some shampoo and give them a little bit of a scrub because there's still quite a lot of mud and things stuck to them. Because Mickey's legs are so muddy, I'm going to have to use a little bit of shampoo, and I'm actually going to be using a really old dandy brush to try and brush all the mud out because his legs are so hairy. I'm actually going to be using the Omega Equine Shampoo Perfect that was very kindly sent to me by my sponsors. So we're going to be using this today and see how it goes. So hopefully this should get this guy's legs nice and clean. Now it's time to tackle the really hairy part. So the scrubbing method with the dandy brush is actually going pretty well. It's getting a lot of the mud out, so I think soon it might be going on to rinsing time. Because Mickey has quite sensitive skin, I'm going to rinse off his legs and then try again and see how muddy they are, because I don't like to leave the shampoo on for too long. Obviously I want to wash it off really well. Mickey is now looking so much cleaner. Next, I'm actually going to tackle his tail because it's pretty much brown. It's not white anymore, so let's try and get it back nice and clean. He's got a lot of stuff in here, like shavings and twigs. So I'm just going to put some shampoo all over it, give it a smother, and then I think I'm going to try and brush it through and try and get out as much mud and yuckiness as I can. Look how gross this is. Mickey, how does your tail even get like this? That is disgusting. I feel like I managed to get all the shavings and twigs and things out of Mickey's tail, and it's a lot easier to brush now. But as you can see by the colour of the suds of the soap, it's literally brown. It's so disgusting. So I don't know if I'll have to wash it twice or if rinsing it off once will manage to get it all kind of out. But we will see. I think I'm going to use the bucket to rinse it off just because I think it'll be a little bit easier. The bubbles are coming out white. This is a good sign, guys. Now I've rinsed off the tail a bit, it is looking so much better. It's starting to look a little bit more yellow than brown, so we're getting there. We've got progress. Let's hopefully try and make it look a little bit white. But I think for a field-kept pony, he's not looking too bad. I think I'm just going to rinse him once more and then give it a little bit of a dry. And I think I might give him a little bit of a haircut as well and just snip his tail because it's almost dragging on the floor. So that's just causing it to pick up even more mud. I've now finished rinsing Mickey off, so now it's time to get an old towel and give him a little dry off because his legs are so fluffy as well. I feel like this might take him a while to get him completely dry. Now Mickey is all dried off, I'm going to make his tail a little bit shorter so it doesn't drag in the mud. So as you can see, it's almost right at the bottom. Usually when I cut it, I do cut it quite short just because he really likes to get his tail stuck in absolutely everything. And he doesn't really need it this time of year as much because there aren't any flies. So I don't like to cut it sort of too far above his hocks. So I like to give it a few inches below the hocks. So that's pretty good. As you can see, I have taken quite a bit off, but only because it was literally dragging on the ground, which isn't great. So hopefully I won't have to cut it for a while again, and hopefully it won't get as dirty and get all twigs and leaves and things stuck in it as well. So I thought, because I don't really like pulling Mickey's mane, because although it is quite thick, I like to leave it quite long and natural. So I've literally just trimmed the ends, just so it looks a little bit less kind of ratty. I don't want it to look like he's literally had a haircut because that wouldn't be great. But just because I don't want it to be kind of too long, especially as it's a lot thinner at the ends anyway. So I know you're not really supposed to give horses kind of a haircut with scissors, but I feel like on Mickey it looks pretty good just because it does look like I've done it quite naturally. And lastly, just as a little finishing touch, I'm going to put some hoof oil on Mickey as well. So I've got my little brush and just put it on. Some of you might have also noticed in today's video that Mickey actually has a hole in his hoof. So this is when he actually had an abscess that was caused by his laminitis, that was caused by the Cushings. So the vet actually cut out quite a big chunk here to get all the pus out and relieve all that sort of pain that he had in his hoof. So now the hole's pretty much gone. There's just a little bit of a chunk there. So he's going out in the field on it now without a boot or any protection, which is fine. And his hoof's pretty much back to normal. It's just got a little hole in, and as his hoof sort of grows and he has it trimmed by the farrier, it'll just sort of grow out and soon disappear. Okay, so because Mickey was such a good boy having his little spa day, being washed and standing very still, so I'm just going to give him a little treat because he's in a very licky mood right now, especially as the treat's out. He's looking sparkling clean now. His legs are looking so good, especially as they were so muddy before. It was so nice to give his tail a wash as well because that was so muddy. It was pretty much even black. Like, I think just when he poos, because it was so long his tail, it would just drag in this poo, which obviously is not great. So now it's nice and clean. He's had a little bit of a trim and a pamper. I feel like he's feeling really good in himself as well. I think he definitely enjoyed the wash. Like, there was one part when I was washing him and he was actually falling asleep. I think he really enjoyed the warm water as well. So thank you so much, Mick, for being such a good boy, having a little pamper session. So guys, I really hope you enjoyed today's video and seeing Mickey having his pamper session, as well as a little update, because I really want to be honest with you guys and let you know what's happening with Mickey and keep you guys updated, because I know so many of you guys were so worried about Mickey, just like I was, but he's doing so much better now. He's doing really, really well, which is just amazing to see. So anyway guys, thank you so much for watching today's video. If you're new or have not done so already, please like and subscribe because it really does help me out. I really do appreciate it, and I'll see you all next time. Bye! Licky boy. Mwah.